Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983, and I am going to work on presenting another after action learn to play for the classic squad leader, the Tractor Works. I will promise that I will get through enough of it to go over the rules and some actual play. It is an 8-turn scenario. I don't know that I'll do enough to cover it all. And I don't know if I'll do a scenario 3. I'm kind of making this up as I go along because I have a lot of different things I want to do. So it's Memorial Day weekend. It's the 25th. It's around 2 in the morning on May 25th, 2024. Just to be clear, I always state the date because of the cancer. So what we have here, it's the classic squad leader. So this scenario takes place on map board 1 between this row here, O, running, let's see, north, south, east to the edge of the board. It's got a ton of Russian squads. I'm going to go over the new rules introduced here in a minute. So let's do that first. But first I want to do one thing I need to correct from last video. And I don't know, I guess I don't really need to show you. I'm going to just read it. So as one of the viewers pointed out, one of the rules I missed is when it's a special morale rule under Fate 18.3. Which I thought was an interesting place to put it. It says 18 special morale rule. Any infantry unit attempting to rally, which rolls an unadjusted 12, has taken unexplained additional casualties and is eliminated. In addition, should a broken leader roll a 12 while attempting to rally, all other friendly units in the same hex must immediately undergo a normal morale check. That's when a broken leader rolls a 12. So, any infantry unit, which I believe includes leaders, yes. Oh, my feet. Oh, gosh, they're so swollen from cancer. Sorry, I'm going to have to get up here in a minute. But we'll see how far we get. Special morale rules. So that's that. Also, when making a morale check, any infantry unit, even if already broken, rolls a 2 prior to any modifier, so a natural 2 will go berserk. The berserk unit is immune to all morale checks for the remainder of the scenario. It must be eliminated to be stopped. To replace it with a red counter, so there are some red counters in the counter mix here. Let's see. Oops. That wasn't very helpful, was it? Here we go. Got a few there. Not a lot, but I can't imagine that happens too often, right? Berserk unit must charge the nearest in hexes of enemy unit in its line of sight during its movement and advance phase in an attempt to destroy it in close combat. You have to take the shortest route to the enemy unit. It may fire defensive fire and advancing fire, but not during prep fire. Berserk unit has 6 movement points, 8 if it's a leader, and if you happen to have a Berserk leader with it, the whole stack can move 8. If a leader goes berserk, there is a chance that all unbroken units stacked with him in the target hex will join him in berserk status. To become berserk, they must roll equal to or less than their desperation morale, taking into account any leadership modifier of the berserk leader. So there's no penalty if they fail. So if you do a morale check for a leader, rolls a 2, and he goes berserk, then he goes nuts. So anyways, I missed that rule in the playing of the scenario 1. So I wanted to go over that. So we're going to introduce, for this scenario, flamethrowers. So they're a support weapon, and they have a range of 2 hexes. They always fire at 20 firepower factors. If they're not, you can't, terrain has no impact, right? Let me double check that. Yes. No fire for point blank fire. There's no long range fire. There's no die roll modifiers, even for terrain. If they fire at a concealed unit, which we'll get to, that's another new rule. It's still treated as area firepower. Only assault engineers or leaders with a -2 or -3 may operate a flamethrower. When a hex is shot at with a flamethrower in it, let's see if that applies to the whole stack. 22.7. Whenever a flamethrower occupies a target hex, the firing group attacking the target hex qualifies for an additional -1. Okay. A squad can utilize inherent firepower in the same phase which it utilizes flamethrower. However, the squad must fire at the same target as the flamethrower, and the flamethrower uses a different die roll. If a flamethrower scores a KIA against the hex, all support weapons in the target hex are eliminated also. We're also going to get to play with some demolition charges for the Germans. Rules for demolition charges are you need 8 3/8 and then -2 or -3 liters to use them. They can be placed on a target hex from any adjacent hex reached by the engineer or leader carrying the charge. They cannot be placed to a lower, may not be placed from a lower to a higher elevation across a cliff hex side. The charge must be placed on the target hex during the movement phase of the owning player. The placing unit need not remain adjacent to the target hex. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Defensive fire against the placement hex, but has to survive all defensive fire. If it breaks, the demolition charge stays in the hex and is not exploded. Leadership modifiers don't affect demolition charge. All protective terrain does apply. So engineer can use its inherent firepower in the same advanced phase when the demolition charge explodes. But it has to be the same target hex. I'm trying to see here. May utilize. I think it is affected by concealment. Isn't it? Target hex with a force equivalent to 30 factors. Okay. Just trying to see here. Okay, so and then if it gets a KIA, all support weapons in the target hex are eliminated. And the demolition charges, like all support weapons, will malfunction on a roll of a 12. So that's never good, right? Smoke gets introduced. So what's interesting about smoke counters, so in this scenario, the Germans have 6. It's a finite amount. They're placed as the first action during the prep fire phase. And then the engineer actually can still move, and like normally when you prep fire you can't. If the line of sight of a shot, they move into or through units that move into or through pay an extra movement factor to move into or through a smoke hex. Any fire group that traces a line of sight into, out of, or through a smoke hex suffer a modifier to the fire roll or the to hit roll of you roll a die, and that's how many what the modifier is. And you roll that modifier after you roll the result. I don't really know what the difference is, but you do. That's what the rule says. And then last but not least, we introduce concealment, which are represented. I guess I could have been showing you all the counters I'm talking about. So there's concealment marker, question mark. And the Germans have 12 in this scenario, and the Russians have 18. Here's a smoke marker. You see, it's on the back side of the wire markers, in case you don't know, for squad leader. And let's see, do I want to show you? Sure, why not? Let's learn to play, right? Let's look at the demolition charge. Let me show you that. The little triangle means it's not impacted by leadership. Tells you on the back of the counter when you place it and when it explodes. That's kind of handy. Not bad for 1977. And then we got the flamethrowers. And you'll notice the little triangle again. So no modifiers. Range is encased by 2. And it had the -1 on there. Breakdown numbers of 9 plus. I don't know if I mentioned that. It runs out of fuel after the resolution of the shot if you roll a 9 or more. So you can run out of fuel. All right, concealment markers. And we may really break this scenario up. We'll see. This may be turn into just a rules discussion. Concealment. A concealment counter is not considered a support weapon. Trying to just cover the highlights. I don't want to read the rule to you verbatim. They can be placed on top of any squad or leader, even if broken at the end of the unit's complete player turn, in which it has neither moved, fired, made smoke, been fired upon, resulting in a morale check, or been adjacent to an enemy unit. Placement, a concealment counter is limited to woods or building hexes, except during night scenarios. We don't have rules for that. And there are exceptions for inside bunkers, which don't get introduced till later. So I'm going to talk about that. They have to be removed when any unit beneath the concealment counter fire, moves, makes smoke, or is fired upon, resulting in a morale check, or attempts to entrench. Concealment counters do not affect attacks against unconcealed friendly units moving into or through the hex. Should one or more concealed units wish to move or fire through the hex, let's see, even while others are concealed units, their position, all units in the hex would lose their concealment status. So okay, that's interesting. Okay, the only time can be placed other than by provisions of 25.3 is when a scenario allocates a number of concealment counters like this one does. Any fire group that fires into a hex with a target hex containing a concealment counter does so with as area fire or power at half firepower. Exception 25.41. No, it just means they don't affect unconcealed units. So If you fired at a hex and one squad's covered, one's not, you would resolve the shot at half. Under the concealment, and at normal with the guy that's not concealed. And then all concealment counters in a target hex are removed if an attack on the hex results in other than a no effect, regardless of the success or failure. Moves, fires, fire upon, attempts to entrench, or becomes adjacent to enemy infantry. All right, fanaticism. So in this game, basically you get a -1 modifier, and for this purpose of scenario 2 and 3, it's inside the tractor works here. So the Russians in there will get a morale bonus. All right, so those are the new rules that are introduced in scenario 2. And let's go to the description, and I think what we'll do is we'll get through the setup, and then that may be it for tonight, just to see. And I'm gonna, a little suspend on my belief, for the concealment. I get it's not ideal doing this solitaire, but it's not a big obstacle to us old school war gamers. So the scenario takes place October 6, 1942. And basically, let's see here. Do I really want to read this? No, I don't. So victory conditions. The side that ends the game with undisputed control of at least 6 hexes of the tractor works wins. Side is considered to control a hex if it was the last to occupy the hex with an unbroken unit. A hex containing a unit of both sides in close combat is controlled by neither side. If only one side has an unbroken unit in the tractor works, the game ends. That side is the winner. And otherwise, it's a draw. So can that happen? Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess you could have one have 5 and one have 4. But that's the ultimate goal. Now it does say sequential setup, and then we roll to determine who moves first. So I don't really know what that means. If I was playing my opponent, sequential setup, what you're supposed to both set up at the same time. If somebody knows the answer to that, let me know. There's nothing here in the special rules about sequential setup. Let me go back to the first couple of pages of rules just to see if it talks about setup at all. Unit counters, introduction, let's see. Most scenarios say, hey, this guy sets up first. Oh, hey, this guy sets up second. That says sequential setup. Scenario 4, German. Yeah, most scenarios do that. Let's see I wonder if it says, just out of curiosity, I don't see, somebody knows the answer, let me know. Oh, aftermath. The streets of Stalingrad. That's going to be the first scenario with a written aftermath. All right. Well, anyways, let's see. I said I'd set up, didn't I? All right. Well, let's see here. So the garrison. Let's see what this is. You got a 9 - 2 liter. Try to do this without dumping anything with my numb cancer fingers. Set up in the tractor works. Okay. Building X3. So that's going to be 12 squads. And I got a 9 - 2 liter. So, and I got a heavy machine gun, a medium machine gun. Oh, I'm supposed to have 2 medium machine guns. Well, let's fix that. I screwed that up, didn't I? And 3 light machine guns. I need 1 more medium machine gun. There we go. All right, there we go. Got it. This should be fun. We got tons of Russians here. There's also 18 concealment markers. Now, like I said, I'm going to have to figure out how to suspend my belief system, and hopefully by setting up tonight and not playing till later, that will be another video when I actually start playing. I can also forget a little bit because, so what do I got set up here? And then just elements, and then I do have in this other setup group, anyways, this is garrison of the 308th Rifle Division, set up first in the tractor works. Oh, that's where it talks about sequentially. It tells you there. Okay. So we got a 9-2 leader and 12 squads. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Well, we got 9 tractor work hexes. And we got a heavy machine gun. So let's see, let's put a squad with a heavy machine gun and a 9-2 leader. And we put him way up here just for shits and giggles. And I would put a concealment marker on him. Okay, there. Now I'm going to hopefully forget some of this, but and then the other end we'll put a squad with a medium machine gun. There's no leader with a concealment marker. And let's do 2 squads. That'd be a nice firepower group on the other end of this building here. And then I'm going to put 2 squads. So that'll be with a medium machine gun. That'll be 12. And we'll put that bad boy back here. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to just make each, well, let's see, 4, 8, 12. No, we'll do 6. How about that? 6. And we'll get 3 concealment markers. And you can use concealment markers to also boost up your stacks. And I think, if I was a Russian player, I'm not saying this is the best idea, but I would definitely do something like this and put, I guess I could put something real in the front line. I don't know if I want to or not. Honestly. I do this. Or put a stack up front here. Yeah, we got, how many guys we got left here? So, got 1, whoops, 2, 3, 4. I already forgot what I got in these damn stacks, didn't I? I sure did. Alright, now that's going to be helpful playing. And I'll just do this to make the Germans think, oh, that's an extra big stack. Alright. So then, set up second. Okay, those guys set up last. So now the Germans set up. So I'm glad I answered my own question. Looks like you set up the rest of the Germans now. So this group is Kampfgruppe Stala. Stala. Let's see here. I mean, that's really intelligent, Mark, isn't it? All right. So Kampfgruppe Stala deploys in buildings U3. We're going to mark this now. So we're going to be, so U3, this building. T4, R7. Let's see, T4, R7, and T7. All right. So, interesting. Now just to look, I want to see AA4. Okay, that's going to be over there. CC3 and Y8. Interesting. Let's make sure. CC3 and Y8. Okay. And then Y8. No. Yeah, okay. CC7 and AA4. So you got more, that's later with the assault engineers. And the rest of the elements of the 2 battalions of the 29th Infantry Division deploy last in building P5, P8, Q4, and R1. Looks like we have one German group that's kind of defending here. All right, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a squad with our -2 leader and a concealment marker for now in the stone building here. So I think what's going on here, right, is there's a Russian relief force and the tractor works are surrounded. So that's what it sure looks like to me. And we'll set up another squad with another medium machine gun and the -1 leader and a concealment marker. And where do we want to put that bad boy? Oh, I guess to keep the Soviets honest, we'll put something there. Not that they're going to be doing anything crazy. I guess maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe we do this guy up here like that. Why not? All right. And then I think we're going to spread out a little bit. Go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I do with the, there it is, the medium there. And I put the other medium up here. Okay. Mr. Cancer Fumble Fingers. Gonna have to use my, definitely use my, I guess to keep the Russian player honest, let's just make these stacks look a little bit bigger. Like I said, we're playing solitaire, so not ideal, but let's do that. All right. Okay. Yeah, then we got this other group here. These guys, these are not my assault engineers. They don't have any, what's the word I'm looking for? Concealment markers. So Conf Group Tinman deploys in buildings Y8, CC7, so Y8's this building here. Let's just put a squad in them for now. It looks like, so Y8, CC7, and AA4. Okay, now the engineers, which are going to set up, are AA4, CC3, and Y8. So the same buildings. Okay, interesting. Okay. So, that being said, this group here has got a heavy machine gun. We got a 10-2 liter. So I'm going to put that with the heavy machine gun. So their heavy machine guns were 6. So 10. And what the hell, we're going to put an extra squad with them. For they can get a nice 12-factor attack going. And then we're going to kind of hide them back here just a little bit, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too smart for my own drawers, huh? And then I got an extra squad here. I gotta remember, I'm gonna be setting up my assault engineers also. Alright, well, let's do this. We're gonna just do this. 1, 2. 3, 4. We don't know who's going to go first either. There's a roll-off for that. So that is interesting. You know what? Let's do this. Let's put this guy here with the heavy machine gun. He can kind of help support in here as well as attack this. And I don't really see a reason to put a guy way back there. Oh, I do have 2 other leaders, don't I? All right. Well, we're going to put the 9-1 leader right here with this guy. He's got 6, 10, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That'll be 12 directed by him. It's pretty good kill stack. Got a 10 minus, I'm going to put an 80 leader just kind of hanging out back here, I think. And we set up the engineers. This is AA4. So I might have to switch this around a little bit, actually. Did I blow this? AA4. Oh, am I allowed to sit up here? Yeah, Y8. Okay, that's that building. So I can. And then CC, this group is AA4. Oh, CC3. So we're going to, you know what? Engineers are badasses. So we're going to do this. We're going to just do 3 squads right there with a 10 minus 3 leader. And we're going to give them one of the flamethrowers. I don't want to put all my baskets. I'm going to give them also 2, 1. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, so 2 of the demolition charges. And that. So that's a pretty hefty stack. Nice target for the Russians too. But all right. And then let's see. Oh, we got that attack group there. I guess we should probably put them all together, huh? Is that the idea? Because it looks like there's no other leaders. So we're going to give, let's see. You know, I do like the stone building, don't I? But maybe this guy needs to go back a hex. Yeah, we'll just do this. There we go. And then we're going to do a squad. And we'll give him a flamethrower. And we'll do another squad with a light machine gun and a demolition charge. And the same here. So there, the Germans are all set up, ready to do their assault on the tractor works. Got a screening force here. Now we got this mass of Russians. P8, let's mark the buildings. Now this is the relief force. P8, P5, 27 squads with 3 leaders and 4 light machine guns. Q4 and R1. So we got 27 squads. Let's see, with only 3 leaders. Oh boy, that's not 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. Oh boy, that's almost 3 per hex. See how that works out. I'm gonna go 3. That's like a mass of Russians, 6. I'm not saying I'm gonna sit up like this, but 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yep, that's exactly what they gotta do. These are where they start up, right? So 24. let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27 squads. All right, then we get a 9 minus 1 liter. So what am I thinking here? 9 minus 1 liter. Let's just put him right in the thick of the action. We'll give that stack a light machine gun. And then we have 2 80 liters. Have them hang back a little bit. Give them a light machine gun. And I'm going to leave somebody without a leader, aren't I, if I do that? Well, you know what? I guess this guy kind of got to lead all this. I'm going to do this. And this. And then we will give another light machine gun here. And we'll give one to this group here, I suppose. Let's see how that works out. All right. Oh, there you go. 41 minutes in. Scenario 2 is all set up. I'm going to go ahead and roll to see who's going to move first, and then we'll end this video. And my next video part will kick it off. So I'm going to roll to determine who moves first. So the Germans get a 2, and the Russians get a 6. All right, so the Russians are going to go first. All right, so we'll see you on the next video, and thanks for joining me, and we will see you soon. I need to go lay down and maybe read my book a little bit. My feet are hella swollen right now from sitting here too long. And you really care about that, huh? All right, guys, thanks. See you later. Bye.